What's up, everybody? You're halfway through the week. Thanks for joining us here on First Take. They are Skip. It's Hump Day. The one and only Ray Lewis will be with us later on. Looking forward to that. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karam. Good day, gentlemen.
Welcome back to Bristol, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Love it when you're here.
I want to know, what do you think you're doing? Cheering for the Denver Broncos? What you doing with those colors on it?
Well,
I love it.
I'm trying to compete with you, Stephen G.Q. Smith, right?
I do like that name.
Yeah.
I do like that name.
It's not Stephen A. It's Stephen G.Q.
But you do know you can't compete.
No, I just over here in my little area over here. I just try to
You can't compete with all that.
Not the wardrobe. Not the wardrobe. I don't think. I think you know better than that.
But debating, yes.
Yeah.
Big edge over here. Yeah.
Speaking of that, we've got a personal one right now, gentlemen. You just heard Jerry Jones on Dez Bryant's status for Sunday when the Cowboys traveled to the Giants. The last time they played each other was at the start of the season, and Dez broke his foot in the Cowboys' season-opening win. This is a huge division game. The G-men are looking to redeem themselves. Skip.
Yes.
Is Dez going to play?
Stephen A. Smith. Obviously, I hope that Dez Bryant plays. I hope that he catches 5 touchdown passes from Matt Outhouse to the Castle. Matt Castle starting this Sunday for my Dallas Cowboys. But Stephen A. Smith, I obviously also hope that it remains 80 degrees every day this winter in Bristol, Connecticut. I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's going to happen, which means I think it will take a miracle for Dez Bryant to play, which means I do not think that he will play. For the record, again, he has a Jones fracture, the 5th metatarsal of his right foot. And I spoke again last night, Stephen A., to a prominent orthopedic surgeon who treats a lot of professional athletes, who reminded me that in his experience, this injury takes at least 3 months to heal. 3 months to heal a Jones fracture, and that there's also high risk, as we remember with Kevin Durant, of re-injury if you rush back. So, Stephen A. Smith, Dez Bryant is 5 weeks into recovery. So minimum of 3 months, says the orthopedic surgeon I know and trust. And he's 5 weeks into recovery. Now, he did try the new experimental stem cell treatment, in which you obviously take some stem cells from some fatty tissue somewhere in your body, maybe your love handles, and you inject it. Well, that's the best place to take them.
You don't have any of those.
No, I don't have them, but Stephen A. has small ones anyway.
I do.
Yeah, small ones.
You're not the only one.
Okay.
I do.
So you take your stem cells from some fatty portion of your body and you inject it into where the injury occurred or the surgery happened, and you hope that it miraculously speeds recovery. There's no data on how that will do because it's so new that I can't tell you what's going to happen, but it was shocking to me that according to the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to have to trust their word on this, Dez Bryant has been doing running drills on the field, power running drills, and that they are hopeful that he at least can try to practice this week. If you want to know my gut feeling truth here, Stephen A., and I'm always objective about my Cowboys as opposed to how other people are not objective about the teams they love, but in my case, I'm here to tell you I'm starting to believe Jerry Jones is just messing with the New York Football Giants. He's just trying to push them to prepare for the possibility, the long shot possibility, that the best receiver in pro football, Dez Bryant, will somehow miraculously emerge Sunday late afternoon at the Giants Stadium and play very well. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Do I want the Giants to have to worry that that's going to happen? Yes, I do. So do I think this is a little bit of a little tactic on Jerry Jones' part? Yeah, little playing with the Giants' psyche. Yes, I do. I do not think he will play. I hope he does. I hope the Giants have to prepare for it.
You know, it's interesting, and I appreciate you starting off the show with this subject. Usually, I'd be nauseated about talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's true.
But in this particular instance, it does not bother me because I find it absolutely comical that this is a relevant subject in your mind. And the reason why I feel that way, Skip Bayless, is because it's interesting how you just acknowledged that Jerry Jones was playing games. This is what the Dallas Cowboys have resorted to, playing games, trying to stall injury reports from coming out, trying to give the impression, well, maybe if they think that Dez Bryant is going to play, it'll hamper their preparation for the game.
It could.
That would put us in an advantageous position.
Yes.
It just once again shows how pathetic the Dallas Cowboys are.
Yeah.
Do you know, Skip, as I look at their numbers, your leading receiver is Jason Witten. He's got about 271 yards. Your second leading receiver in terms of receptions, I believe, is Cole Beasley. Your third leading receiver, I think it's Lance Dunbar.
Yeah.
I think it's Lance Dunbar.
You haven't gotten to Terrence Williams yet,
listen, I have not. Well, let's look at Terrence Williams.
Yeah.
That would be 14 receptions for 223 yards. 14 receptions in 5 games. 14.
Okay, but that was because of Brandon just stay off the weed.
Are we sure?
Am I right?
Are we sure?
Yes.
Are we sure?
He never looked in that direction.
All I'm trying to say to you, Skip, is this.
Yeah.
I find it comical because what enters my mind is this. Do you know that in the 6 games, or in the 5 games rather, that the Dallas Cowboys have played this season, you only have one 100-yard game from a receiver who actually wasn't a receiver, it's a running back. Lance Dunbar had 10 receptions for 100 yards.
Who's my
versus
quarterback?
The Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
Outside of that, you don't have anything going on. So it just speaks to the level of desperation that the Dallas Cowboys are willing to engage in. Once again, they show their joke tendencies. Because this is what they are.
Wait, are they not?
And here's the deal.
Who won the NFC East last year?
I don't recall.
Okay,
I have no recollection of that right now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this day, right now. So I can understand what you're coming from, where you're coming from, but all it does is basically take me to a place that I'm very familiar with being in. And that is in looking at the Dallas Cowboys and laughing at how pathetic they can be. Because it's, once again, let me get into all kind of machinations. Let me make sure we engage in trickery. Let's fool folks. Let's delay the injury report. Let's give the impression to the local media that Des Bryant is going to be ready. Let's sit up there and elevate the level of hope for Cowboy Nation, the pathetic fan base that you're a part of. When we sit up there and we talk about
your radio show, those?
Listen, excuse me. Actually, they don't. They don't. See, I don't need the Cowboys to get ratings from my show. I can promise you that I don't need them. Listen, don't call me.
Cowboy Nation, turn it off.
Let's not talk about the Cowboys.
Turn that dial.
Stephen, hold on. Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, International, 1 to 3 p.m. every weekday Eastern Standard Time.
Ratings
Let me tell you something right now. They did not plunge. They did not plunge because the Dallas Cowboys, I don't need Dallas Cowboys Nation. I can't stand Dallas Cowboy Nation. A matter of fact, that's the only bad part about my radio show. And I find myself calling people Skip. It's this dude Rick from DC. I call him Skip because of all of these Cowboy fans that call up living in something other than reality. Once again, this is what we're talking about here. You have literally opened the show and reminded us of some orthopedic surgeon, that gave you some advice about this. That's how desperate y'all are.
I was objective about it. I was
desperation.
Was I not?
It's desperation.
I didn't say he was going to play.
Because what they did, I understand that. But what you did was, well, you know what? The orthopedic surgeon tells us it's at least 3 months. But Des is practicing on. Oh, no. He's a fabulous journalist. We ain't debating that about Skip Bayless. But the point is, he's been running hard, and he's got a chance, and he might defy, the expertise, the medical experts.
Stem cells.
Oh, please. Stem cell, whatever.
From the love
That's where we are.
That's where you take it from. That's where you take them from.
That's where we are.
That's the truth.
Are we going to invite politics into the situation? Are we going to get our 43rd President George W. Bush talking about stem cell research?
There's
and
a fly in your ointment.
Are we going to be talking about all of this stuff? I mean, stop it, please. Don't get me started. Stem cell. That's what we've resorted to. The Dallas Cowboys have us talking about stem cells. That's where we've regressed to. That's how desperate y'all are to be relevant again. I'll catch that fly.
There's a fly on your argument. That's on your argument, right?
The fly is flying with my argument. That's why it's coming towards you and irritating you. Wasn't bothering me. Wasn't bothering me because the fly knows I'm telling the truth.
But over here, I'm just fly. That's all I am. It's just fly.
You know what? The orange and blue does look kind of nice.
Thank you. You came around.
It does. And I'm proud that you know that lingo, fly. Using that verbiage. I'm very proud, Skip. I'm wearing off for you. I'm wearing off for you.
So we took the noun and made it an adjective, right?
That's right.
All right, is that all you got?
That's all I got. I don't need anything else.
You realize.
I don't need anything else.
who used to be my quarterback, was the guy who admitted just 2 weeks ago, Brandon, just stay off the weed end, that he's been unlucky his whole life. He admitted that Norv Turner, his first coach in the National Football League, told him, Brandon, I don't know what you did to people in your former life, but you've just been the unluckiest player I've ever coached. I don't want that guy as my Dallas Cowboy quarterback. I know Brandon. I like Brandon. I don't want him to be my quarterback. Matt Castle is a professional quarterback with a proven track record. He's thrown 96 touchdown passes in this league to only 70 interceptions. And he helped step in for Tom Brady and lead the Patriots to an 11-5 record. And then he went to Kansas City and he led them to an 11-5 record. As Jerry Jones astutely pointed out the other day, Matt Castle will have the nerve to step up in the pocket and take some good risks, not crazy risks, some careful risks, if that's not an oxymoron. So he will step up and try to throw the ball downfield to maybe Terrence Williams. Maybe he's going to catch 3 or 4 big balls in this game. My defense, I love. My offense, I'm starting to get back on the bandwagon of. And again, is it a long shot possibility that Dez steps out on the field just to inspire his teammates? It's possible. So I'm going to cling to the hope.
So now we're talking about Dez Bryant being the modern-day football version of Willis Reed.
Thank you. I thought of that, but I didn't think you'd want me to go there.
Unbelievable.
But it's possible.
The level of
this isn't exactly the NBA Finals.
You're embarrassing yourself with how far you're reaching for your capital. And by the way, let's analyze. Let's rewind for a second.
Yeah.
When Tony Romo went down after Hicks rammed him into the ground in Game 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles, it was a legitimate shot to me, as far as I can tell. That's my recollection of it. Here's the deal. The next game, when they played the Atlanta Falcons, weren't the Dallas Cowboys up 14-0?
28-17.
28-17 at halftime. Is it Brandon Whedon's fault that Devontae Freeman rushed for 141 yards on 30 carries? Was it Brandon Whedon's fault that Julio Jones was targeted 20 times, had 12 receptions for 164 yards? I don't think Brandon Whedon had anything to do.
Hold on, no Rolando McClain.
Hold on. I don't recall that being Brandon Whedon's fault. In the loss against New Orleans, didn't they go into overtime? And didn't the defense have a miscue? And wasn't that Jason Garrett's fault or one of the rookie players that they had inserted in once one of their linebackers went down due to injury?
We were down to the third string linebacker.
That's right. Exactly. So that had nothing to do with Brandon Whedon, but the resident Cowboy hater, as they love to say, I am the one that has to come to the defense of Brandon Whedon. He didn't do anything wrong.
He didn't do much right either.
Excuse me. They had leads. That defense that you bragged about, led by Rod Marinelli, they didn't come through. There's no argument there.
Okay.
So why are you pointing the finger at
Brandon Whedon score in the second half against the Atlanta Falcons? He had 28 in the first half, not much, like 0.
That's right.
That's all I need to know.
All right.
Next question.
Really?
Thank you very much.
I got you. You can say
Matt
that.
Castle, from the outhouse to the castle. Here we come.
Your defense had a lead and lost it.
How nervous are you about this Sunday at the Giants?
I was nervous last Sunday.
Molly says not nervous on the record, yes?
Monday, excuse me.
Stephen A. Smith, a little nervous.
Willis Reed imitators don't play in football. It won't work. It's a foot
Here comes
injury.
Des Reed.
All I got to do is step on his foot when all else fails. Referee won't even see that.
Here we go.
We're not going to see anyone
throwing
up the X this week, we don't think, or the salsa, for that matter.
Maybe not.
Are you going to do the salsa, too? Work those hips?
Yeah, go ahead and laugh. You might see that in the end zone Sunday.
Moving on to another team that's dying for a championship, also knows a lot about injuries. Will the Cavs get revenge for last season's NBA Finals? In a poll of NBA GMs that is currently up on NBA